We still have people joining in. Okay. So fine. By the time people are joining in, we'll just quickly have a quick recap of what exactly we tried to have a feel of yesterday. Sorry, the last class. Um, we did discuss about some things called as what exactly are products that is offered to the market to satisfy any want or need, including a physical goods, services, experience, events, people, places, properties, organizations, information, and idea. These all are classified as products. We also try to see that the attractiveness of marketing offering bases on three dimensions. First is the value-based prices, the service quality mix, the quality and the service mixes, and the product features and quality. Finally, we also saw what exactly is defined as a product. It has multiple levels, starting from the core product and going down to the potential product. The core product is something which is very, very basic, followed by the value added basic product. Then, what exactly is expected in a product by the consumer beyond the basic product. Finally, something for the customer delight, that is the augmented product, and the potential product, which exactly is some sort of uh, value addition which can be expected for towards product modification. So effectively, these all categorize towards composing the multiple levels of a product per se. So with this, we also decided to have some sort of illustration in the context of what exactly is a product per se. We talked about core benefits, the basic product, expected product, augmented product, and the potential product in our earlier class. And we would be trying to take up one small case study. This is a caselet of a very interesting brand. The Indian hospitality industry has come up with a very interesting brand, which is a brand which is there from the house of Tatas. This is called as the Ginger brand, Ginger Hotels. So I would be taking up this topic on Ginger Hotels, and as always requested, we always wanted you to join on time, and I feel that people are still joining. That talks about really their level of commitment to time management and seriousness towards everyone's time. So very soon, in about
Sir,
1 minute.
the screen is not visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Yes,
I
sir.
would thank you for actually, this toggling that I have to do to admit people who are joining one by one at their own sweet will. That exactly is creating some sort of a glitch. But what we will do is I'll have to first stop the sharing once again and then restart it once again. Not an issue, but it basically takes a lot of it cuts on so something called as time. So once I feel now you should be able to see the screen. So we
Yes,
are
sir.
about 12:15 right now, and unfortunately people who have not joined can stay out of the session because we have to talk about the session per se as well. So I hope it is visible to everyone. A voice confirmation once again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So Ginger
Yes, sir.
Hotels is a chain of hotels in India in a smart basics category. Now they have set a new standards of service quality at affordable prices. The concept of hotel is loosely inspired from the success of low-cost airlines and targets the modern, experienced traveler who does not relate low traffic with poor standards. So, low tariff of hotels does not mean that the consumer is ready for poor standards. So, the consumer wants high standards but at a lower price. That's basically somewhat synonymous with or analogous with the low cost airlines, which exactly have started operating for another segment of the no frills flights for consumer segment, a newer consumer economy segment. So Ginger Hotel employs skeletal staff, and most of the regular hotel services are outsourced. So they economize on cost by offering the guests self check-in facilities. The guests wheel in their own luggage and carry it to their room. The hotel provides limited room services. The guests can avail of a dial a meal facility from the local restaurants and collect their meals in the front desk. These hotels also have a multi-cuisine restaurant, vending machines for hot and cold beverages, ATMs, a basic gym, and a Wi-Fi network. As these innovations and display of sensitivity, the last room of the hotel in the Ginger chain is specially designed for physically challenged guests. Now, the brand name implying something fresh. Ginger would mean something very fresh, simple, warm, yet stylish. The hotels are located in small business centers and tourist destinations that attract visitors round the year. In a short time, the hotel chain has achieved an occupancy rate of 85%, and that too without significant advertising support. So you see, here basically what we actually are trying to look at is a concept of hotels offering quality services. That is core benefits. The basic product is there, expected product is all there, but the augmented product is actually challenged because this is cutting on the cost of the basic product. And effectively, what happens is the concept is that comes down with something called as potential product. So effectively, this exactly is how this sort of a product classification has been done. So now we will be looking into, since this is actually, you might say that this is actually a service, how do I classify it as a product? So effectively, towards durability and tangibility, also we can design how exactly we intend to be looking at these type of product classification. So durable and tangibility also happens to be an element which will be looking into successful classification of products, that is durability, tangibility, and use. How do we define the durability concepts? Like for example, there can be certain goods which are durable goods. Like for example, you have your white goods or your automobiles, or people who basically invest a huge amount of their savings for purchasing these goods which are going to last a certain period of time. Then tangibility is something which basically tantamounts to something that you can touch, feel, see, taste, and so on and so forth. And then coming down to the utility, that is called as how do you use these specific goods. Now, then we exactly are also going to be looking at non-durable goods, durable goods, and services. That's another level of classification which exactly is there. Coming down to the consumer goods classification, there are goods which are called as convenience goods, shopping, specialty, and unsought goods. We just discuss about certain type of unsought goods, things that we really don't want to buy. So things like, for example, a vaccine in current times is an unsought good. Nobody wants to take a vaccine. Or let's say, for example, if you want to get a RCT done, that is root canal treatment for your tooth, which is actually having a problem with your dentures or your tooth. You'd like to get a, so no, everybody is scared of the dentist's chair, and nobody would like to go and sit in the dentist chair, even if it means you got a pain in your tooth. So unless it becomes unbearable, we don't want to actually go and visit the dentist. Now that could be a procedure which can be an RCT, can be an unsought procedure. So that's some level of classification for certain consumer goods classification. Now, for example, if you basically look at the different type of aspects which exactly are there, we would be trying to see a certain type of product differentiation in terms of form, feature, performance quality, conformance quality, durability, reliability, repairability, style, and customization. Now, in our last class, I said that I would be talking about something which is called as the product differentiation in terms of the design. Now, design is a very important aspect, and it takes care of features, quality, conformance, durability, form, reliability, repairability, style, as well as customization. So here design is a very important shift towards customers' perception for making a brand experience very, very rewarding. So like for example, if you want to see the length of Boeing, which went to making it 777 airplanes, now the length actually made it more roomier and more comfortable. It raised the center pins, the side luggage bins, the divider panels, gently arched ceilings, and raised seats, making the aircraft interior seat bigger. So, as one design engineer noted, that if we do our jobs, people don't realize what we have done. They just say they feel more comfortable. Now, a well-designed goods helps us to differentiate a product from the others in the market. So design is a very important aspect. Now, for example, I'll give an example of a simple flashlight, Eveready flashlight called Stylite. This sold more than 2.5 million pieces in India and in export market mainly on the account of one feature, that is the switch glow in the dark. So it was easy to locate. So you see, what really happened was they were very, very sensitive that generally flashlights are used in dark, so where you want to have light. Now technically, if you have got a flashlight and you are never able to locate the switch, and definitely since the flashlight mostly is going to be used in dark, you must understand that the environment was dark. So the design engineers, they sat down to see that if a product is used in dark and we are not able to actually get the light from that product simply because we cannot trigger the switch, then the entire product is not going to be very successful. So what they did was, the moment it was dark, they put a luminescent a button for the switch for switching it on and off. Now, effectively, what happened was that the consumer was very easily able to locate that the switch here is the switch in a dark environment for a product which is going to provide me light. And the moment this happened, they were very easily able to switch on the torch and get light. Now, this simple context of trying to make an illuminescent button, a button that actually glowed in the dark to identify where the switch was for the torch, was the reason why this product was a huge success. And that can be attributed to the role of design. Now I'm going to come up with a very interesting caselet about a product which is there in every Indian home, nearly every Indian home. And this was established in 1959. And it was known for innovative product. It's an Indian product. It was established in India in 1959 and the brand is Hawkins. So Hawkins is known for innovative product design in pressure cooker and cookware. Now the lid that fits inside the cooking vessel is a distinguished feature of Hawkins pressure cooker. So if you have tried to ever close the lid of a pressure cooker, you must have seen that you cannot just close it like that. You have to either just try to put it at a different angle and try to rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise so that it actually is a sort of a small ovalate spheroid of it's a small oval shape, not really spherical, and then it goes inside, and then you can lock it with an anti-clockwise movement. So due to this feature, the lid of the pressure cooker for safety is not possible to open the cooker until the pressure inside is reduced. So this is an element which exactly incorporates safety with the context of design. The company markets different types of models of pressure cooker with different features and benefits. The Futura brand, for example, has obtained patents and design registration in different countries and is the only pressure cooker to be displayed in the Museum of Modern Arts in New York. Now, Contura is another model and has a body with rounded sides. Now, this is easier for stirring, you see, because in India, when people are cooking food, because food is a very important component of the Indian culture and taste and existence, the Indianness basically is all about how do we end up tasting our food, the type of gourmet that we have. So towards cooking these foods, we exactly all the time, it's not just baking or boiling, but it's a lot of activity that is associated with interacting with the food as you are actually cooking it. And so that means a lot of stirring the food content. And for that, you need to put the ladle or the spoon and stir. And that exactly is where the design component comes into play. And it says that Conchura is another model which has a body with rounded sides. So the sides of the body are rounded for easier stirring, for better food visibility. Also, you can see it is a rounded side. It is at a bulged, pigeon-shaped belly. So effectively, what you can see the better food visibility and convenience in taking out the food, cooked food. So you can easily take out the cooked food from the cooker. In addition to the pressure cookers, the company has a range of products for different cooks under the brand Futura Cookware. These include tawa, that is girdles, uh, frying pans, saucepan, salt pans, cook and serve bowls, handis, stew pots. So effectively, a cooking product by Hawkins is to span a wide range of products with innovative product design. And this is the only pressure cooker to be displayed in the Museum of Modern Arts in New York, and this happens to be from India. So effectively, now you see the role of design in the product. And here, design plays a very important aspect when it comes to doing something called as differentiation. Also, we would be looking at something called as service differentiation. Now, service differentiation is all about trying to use the context of an intangible product. That is a product which exactly, now service is a product which exactly is created at the time of consumption. You can never store a service. A service cannot be actually made in sort of an inventory. And so at the point of utility, the service is actually, you cannot see the service, you cannot see taste the service, you cannot feel the service. You can only experience service. Your touch, taste, the physical entity of a service is non-existent, but basically your experience is all about what the service is all about. Now today, any product is not divided with a service, so product and service, they go hand in hand. There are certain services also which are incorporated in a product to make the product a complete product. Now, how do you order a service? What is the ease that is towards ordering of a service? Now, you can take in the context of a pizza that you generally order or a fast food from Zomato or the different type of food ordering, Food Panda or other type of food ordering mechanism. So, how easily can you order? How easily is it delivered? Then towards installation, let's say, for example, if you want to order a software or a computer or anything which requires some level of installation for the product to actually work, or it requires some level of training or consulting, maintenance, repair, and returns. So all these things are basically defining towards service differentiation as we talked about product differentiation. I have already discussed about the context of design. Now, a design is emotionally powerful. It transmits something called as a brand meaning position. It is important with durable goods, makes brand experience rewarding, and it can transform an entire enterprise, facilitate manufacturing, distribution, and can take on various approaches. Now, we are going to be discussing something which is called as luxury brands. Now, this basically is all about how we try to look at different type of brands. There are certain type of brands which basically are categorized for a different segment of the market. So here is where some sort of a brand comes about, and this exactly is towards how we try to see a product and in the context of the type of category of consumers. So luxury brands is all about quality, the uniqueness, craftsmanship, heritage, authenticity, and history. So there's a dimension of luxury. history which exactly, or culture which exactly is ingrained in the product. So that basically talks about the value that the brand actually carries, and how exactly it is unique. And since it is a commodity for reserved for the very elite or the significant few with a certain amount of expense spending power, so that exactly is how luxury is actually categorized. But when we're talking about brands, we exactly are now. Let's say, for example, what means marketing of luxury brands. Let's say, for example, it is all about premium. The image is a very important aspect for maintaining a premium image for the luxury brands. It's all about creating the intangible brand association or aspirational image that you would strive to have one product like that. Now, luxury again is a referential term, that is, it could be meaning something for somebody and it could be meaning something else for someone else. So you have to be aligned to what exactly and consumption. Branding, definitely these would not be normal people, but they would definitely be personalities who exactly are associated with riches, and they boost the luxury brand equity as well because of their association with them. They rub off their value with the brand. Luxury brands must be carefully controlled towards distributing via a select channel. It is not available everywhere, but you would have a very select outlet where exactly very select people would be going and purchasing the product. Like, for example, if you're looking at a product, many times what happens is there are certain categories which exactly are associated for a luxury brand. Like, let's say, for example, if you're looking at a place like Aligarh, I'm not saying that people cannot afford luxury out here, but then how many people can is a big question. And is it viable for a company, to a luxury brand company, to have a product outlet at Aligarh? Now, that's a very important question. So, effectively, if you want to look at the demographic of the location or the city, that would tell you whether this sort of a product can be put in this sort of city or not. Like, for example, if you might say, let's try to see, if you're having a brand called as Jaguar, the car which is called as the Jaguar brand, you'll never find a showroom or a BMW or a Mercedes Benz. You will never find a showroom in a place like Aligarh. Probably you might find one in Agra, or you might find a showroom in Delhi, but you might not find it in a city like Aligarh. So effectively, this basically talks about the amount of people who exactly exist in a place like Aligarh who would like to own this sort of a brand. They may not be so large so that the company can put a brand out here. This is also good for the different type of brand architecture for luxury brand must be carefully managed. Competition for luxury brand must be defined broadly because it is coming from a very elite section of a category, and luxury brands must legally protect all trademarks and aggressively combat counterfeits, because otherwise they're going to lose their very existence, because their existence is because of their uniqueness, and they cannot throw away that uniqueness for anybody who might come up with a counterfeit brand and might erode their brand value. So this exactly is to be very carefully handled when it comes to luxury brands. Now, we shall also be talking about certain type of environmental issues. Now, environmental issues are very serious, and in current times, certain role of design and manufacturing of these products, like aluminum cans which are used for cold drinks, that's very important. Recyclability is an important aspect. Green products and green brands and green packaging are also very serious concerns, and they give a premium to the product value because people consider their role in environmental concerns and how exactly towards not only utility or recyclability or usability, but also in the product design and manufacturing dimension. Also, environmental issues are considered as prima context. So let us look exactly at the product hierarchy. So product hierarchy is about the need family that starts with what exactly are the needs, then the product family, then the product class, then the product line, then the product type, and then the item. So I will be talking about this product hierarchy in detail. But let's say, for example, I would be talking about the core need that underlies the existence of a product family could be security. Okay, so we would be looking at security as a family need. So need family could be security. Now, for example, all the products that classify the core need can be reasonably and effectively incorporated in the product family. So let's say, for example, if security happens to be my product need, let me try to see what exactly are the product family. So everything and anything that is talking about in savings or income, these are going to actually address the need of the consumer. So these are the different type of products which would be taking care of the need. Now let us look at the different type of product class. So there has to be certain type of coherence in terms of the functional coherence known as the product category. Let's say, for example, we were talking about the different type of financial instruments that are existing in the market. So it could be the different type of primary market or the secondary market, primary the products which exactly are there, or debentures, bonds, the saving instruments, the different type of scripts which are there, or let's say, for example, the different type of instruments, the financial instruments which are there, they could be classified as product class. Now let us come down to the next level, which is called as product line. Now these are the products within a product class, and they are closely related because they have a similar function, and they're sold to the same group of consumers and are marketed through the same outlet or channel, and they even fall within the same price range. A product line may be consisting of a different brands or a single family brand or individual brand that has a line extended, like for example insurance. If you're talking about life insurance, then there could be another product line which would be called as um, uh, uh, for example, a health insurance, or let's say you have in current times the insurance from different type of diseases. So these could be the different type of product lines which could be there, and these product lines, insurance could be one of the product class of which is there, and this could be from a product family and needing a need for a consumer. So effectively these could be there. Then come down to something which is called as product type. Now this is a group of items within a product line, and they share one or several type of forms which exactly could be there. So we talked about this, let's say a life insurance policy, and then items. Now these items could be the different type of stock keeping units. Uh, when we're talking about these different type of stock keeping units, what we mean to say is that these are some things which exactly are talked about the product variants. A distinct unit could be a brand or a product like for example, distinguished in the context of size or price or appearance. So effectively, you can also look at a prudential renewable term life insurance or non-renewable term life insurance, or these could be classified as different items. Now, this is how we exactly are looking at the different aspects of product hierarchy. So we start with the need, then we come down to the product, then we come to the product class, then we come to the product line, and finally we come to the product type, and then coming down to the individual items which are there. Now, I'm going to be taking down to another important aspect, which is called as product systems and mixes. So what are product systems and mixes? Now, a product system, you must understand, is a diverse but related items that basically function in a compatible manner. For example, um, you could have your iPod or a music system and it includes something called as headphones or headsets, cables, docks, armbands, cases, power, car accessories, speakers, all of them are product systems. Now we've got something which is called as product mix or assortment. Now product assortment or product mix is a set of all products that items that products and items of a particular seller has to offer for sale. So product mix can be the different type of products which exactly a seller is trying to sell. Now these could be classified into width, length, depth and consistency. So I will be explaining to you about this important aspect. So let us say what exactly is meant by width of a product. Let's say how many different product lines that the company carries is called as the width. So let's say, for example, that there are 11 or 12 lines which exactly are there. These lines are called as the width. That is how wide it is. If there are two lines or two product lines, then it's called as less wide. But if there are 10 product lines, it's called as more wide. Okay, so this is the first important aspect towards the product width. Then comes the length. That is what exactly is the size of the length. That is how long is the product line. Now, this exactly is the total number of items that are there within each line. Let's say, for example, one line has something like around 11 items, and the other line has around 40 items, and the third line has over 5 items. So let's say, for example, this means that there are 3 lines with one having very long length, second having an average length, and the third having a short length. So this exactly is the length of the items which exactly define the length of the product line. Then the number of lengths is equal to the width. So effectively, this is called the width length. Now coming down to the depth. Now depth of a product line depends how many variants are there. Let's say, for example, if Lux comes with 4 variants, okay, we've got Lux with 4 variants. That is, let's say it comes first variant is called strawberry and cream. Then we've got Lux peach and cream. Then we've got Lux purple lotus and cream. And the fourth is Lux International. So these basically are 4 variants and they come in 2 sizes. Let's say, for example, then Lux has a depth of 8. So 4 variants into 2 sizes is the depth becomes 8. Now, when you've got Lux, when you're talking about Lux, the length, Lux having the toilet soap can be the one that could be one line, and then the body lotion of Lux could be the second line, and the third could be the Lux moisturizer, that could be the third line. So these are the 3 lines which exactly is giving the width of the brand Lux. So when you talked about width is the set of lines, the number of lines that are there. Length talks about the number of items that are there, and depth talks about the number of variants that are there within within each line. Finally, we come to something which is called as consistency. The consistency defines how the different product lines are associated with the end use, that is production, requirement, distribution channels, or the other. So let's say, for example, if Lux body lotion and Lux, let's say, Lux moisturizer or Lux soap, all of them are 3 variants. So they are all consistent with each other because they are produced at the same place, they are distributed by the same, they are catering to the same consumer segment, that is the skin care or the hygiene care. Now these lines are consistent and they form the better for the buyer. So these are the different out the mix. Once again, I will be talking about, I'll be revisiting this entire thing in the context of this example that I would be giving. Let us start with the width. So I will look at 3 lines. The first line is I'm going to call as personal care. The second line I'm going to call it as home care. And the third line I'm going to call as food. So within personal care, I'm going to be talking about personal wash, skin care, hair care, deodorant, oral care. Okay, so these could be the multiple number of lines within the personal care. And then if I'm going to talk about home care, I have got two variants within home care. One is called as fabric care and the second is called kitchen and floor care. So that could be two of them. Then if I'm going to talk about food, then I'm going to talk about the three lines which exactly are there for food is tea, coffee, food and ice cream. Now this I'm talking about the different type of product mix or assortment in terms of just width for the Hindustan Unilever Limited. So Hindustan Unilever Limited, let's say, has three type of product mix. That is, three types of widths are there. First is called as personal care, second is called as the home care, and the third is called as food. Now within personal care, we have got other width. The second care of width within personal care is about personal wash, skin care, hair care, deodorants, and oral care. So that is the width within a width. That is the second width, that is home care. Within that, it is having two lines. One is called as the fabric care and kitchen and floor care. But if you want to take care of the third width, that is called as the food, then there are basically four lines within that. One is called as the tea, second is called as coffee, third is called as food, and fourth is called as ice cream. So that would be the fourth width, the third width. So Hindustan Unilever Limited has a huge amount of width of the product and in personal care, home care, and food care. So now let us look at, we have seen what exactly a length. So let us come back to something called as personal care. Just let us take up one width, that is personal care, and let us look at the lengths that are there within personal care. In personal care, we have got things like personal wash, skin care and cosmetics, hair care, deodorants, and oral care. Okay, so the total number of width, the lines in personal care is something like around five lines that are there. So of these five lines, let us look at the length. The first length is called as personal wash. There basically we have got a total of something like eight products in personal wash. Now this length, the first length, that is personal wash, has something like 8 products, and let us try to see what exactly these 8 products are. We've got Lux, we've got Lifebuoy, we've got Liril, we've got Hamam, we've got Breeze, we've got Dove, Pears, and Rexona. Now this is the length, the first length of personal wash. The second length is called as skin care and cosmetics. Here we've got Fair and Lovely, Pond's, Vaseline, Advance, like Lakme, Ayush. Now these are skin care, the second length. The third length is called as hair care, which is actually Sunsilk, Clinic Plus, and Clear. So within this length, here I'm talking about the depth, the length. What is the depth of the length? So we've got Lux, Lifebuoy, Liril, Hamam, Breeze, Dove, Pears, and Rexona. So here we've got the depth of something like around 8 products is the depth. And now within these, we exactly have got consistency. So consistency we will try to see is how much is personal wash, skin care, hair care, deodorant, and oral care, how closely they are consistent. Are they near each other, catering to the same consumer segment, or are they very far from each other? So this exactly is called as product mix assortment. Now let me look at the number of depth of this length, which is called as skin care. Here we've got Fair and Lovely, Pond's, Vaseline, Aviance, Lakme, and Ayush. Now this exactly has a total depth of something like 6 products. And if I'm talking about hair care, you've got Sunsilk, Clinic Plus, and Clear. So there, this length, that is hair care length, has a total of 3, a depth of 3. And then deodorant, if I'm talking about, we've got just length of the deodorant is just 2, that is Axe and Rexona. So here the depth is just 2 products. And if I'm talking about oral care, then we've got the depth oral care, the length oral care has 2 products in its depth. One is called as Close Up and Pepsodent. So effectively, now this you get a idea of what exactly we mean by width, depth, and length. And consistency is the relationship between the different lengths. So whether the lengths are very consistent, that they are close enough, or are they very wide from each other. I'm also going to give you some example of this in the context of um, let's say food. So let us take the width for food. We've got four categories: tea, coffee, food, and ice cream. Let us look at the length. There are four lengths. That is, it is not very wide, as wide as personal care, but less width is there. But the lengths are, the three lengths are tea, coffee, food, and ice cream. Within tea, let us look at how many items are there within the depth. In tea, we have got Brook Bond, Red Label, Lipton, Brook Bond, Three Roses, Brook Bond Taza, Brook Bond Taj Mahal, and Brook Bond Sehatmand. We've got, these are exactly are the different type of depth which is there in this length, which is called as tea. If you're talking about just coffee, we've got just one item in its depth, that is called as Brook Bond and Brew. And if you're talking about food, that the length food, then let us look at the depth. We've got Kisan, we've got Nor, we've got Annapurna, and we've got Modern. And we're talking about ice cream, then the depth is just one, that is Quality Walls. So effectively, how is tea, coffee, food, and ice cream associated? That is all about the consistency. So with this, we are going to come up with another very small caselet, and this is about a caselet called by Wipro. So let us try to just come down to Wipro. Now, Wipro Limited, one of India's most well-known software companies, was established in 1947 as a vegetable oil trading company under the brand name Western Indian Palm Oil Refined Oil. That is how Wipro comes. Western Indian Palm Refined Oils. So that is how Western Wipro came about. With an experience in trading in vegetable oil, the company decided to introduce value-added products such as hydrogenated cooking oil, laundry soap and wax, and tin containers. Then the company began its journey on consumer product company, then Santur bathing soap brand and flagship brand of this division, in one of the largest selling soaps in South India. Now, its Glucovita range of energy drink, Chandrika range of Ayurvedic soap, and Wipro Smart Light range of home lighting solutions are among the other products from this division. Later, sensing an opportunity in its business-to-business market, the company started manufacturing hydraulic and pneumatic cylinders under the division of Wipro Infrastructure Engineering. When IBM vacated the Indian market in 1977, Wipro entered into the computer hardware business, manufacturing and marketing computers, including notebooks, laptops, desktops, and servers. Subsequently, the company started its Infotech division, focusing on a range of software solutions. The division has grown to one of the largest software firms in India. Wipro Lighting, another division of the company, focuses on lighting solutions and providing for commercial and household applications. The product strategy of the company indicates a diversified portfolio straddling in different businesses and utilizing market opportunity emerging at different points of time, created by evolving consumer needs and gaps and competitive vacuum. So here you see a brand like Wipro. It has a huge amount of width with a huge amount of length and depth, and the consistency is not there at all, because it ranges from palm oil to computers to lightings to you name it, and Wipro has it, to even software solutions and infrastructure technology B2B segment. So these basically are some of the dimensions in the context of this perspective of um, the product systems and mix. So I think we exactly are done with today's session. We shall be continuing with another session wherein we would be discussing about the other dimensions of the class, and we are just about 12:55, and I would like to call off the session. We would be talking in the next class about product line analysis. We would also be doing something called as the market image profiling and image. We will be talking about the different type of product line lengths, pricing, productizing is what we'll be talking about. We would also be talking about co-branding, ingredient branding, and packaging. So these are some of the dimensions we would be taking up in the subsequent classes. So I would like you to please join for another session that will be on the next class. Unfortunately, we had some engagements where we could not engage the class. That said, to be done, that we would be having another session where we would be continuing with this session on the product strategy. So I think with that, we come to an end of this session. Thank you very much